In 1986, Crocodile Dundee hit the big screen and quickly became a worldwide sensation, propelling Linda Kozlowski, the film's captivating star, to the heights of Hollywood fame. But as we all know, the spotlight can be fleeting. At the peak of her success, Linda's world was turned upside down when shocking rumors about her personal life, including a scandalous affair, began swirling around her. Suddenly, Linda found herself at the center of a whirlwind of gossip and unbelievable stories. So what really led Linda to step away from the limelight? What caused this Crocodile Dundee star to leave Hollywood behind? The answers lie in her remarkable journey, a tale you won't want to miss. The shining halo before the shocking scandals. Before stepping away from Hollywood and becoming the center of surprising rumors, Linda Kozlowski basked in the glow of international stardom. Though her time in the spotlight was brief, it was forever tied to Crocodile Dundee, the film that not only defined the 1980s but transformed Linda from an unknown actress into a global icon. But behind that fame, Linda's journey was just as dramatic as anything on screen. In 1986, Linda walked into the Crocodile Dundee audition with little hope, her career having only known minor roles. The part of Sue Charlton, a brave American reporter who joins the adventurous Mick Dundee, demanded the perfect balance of charm, intelligence, and strength. Linda, with her natural beauty and confidence, outshone hundreds of hopefuls to land the role, forever changing her life. When Crocodile Dundee hit theaters, no one could have anticipated its success, becoming a worldwide sensation and earning over $328 million at the box office, a staggering figure for the time. Linda's portrayal of Sue Charlton, with her warm smile and magnetic presence, won the hearts of audiences. The image of her in the Australian wilderness, both vulnerable and fierce, became an iconic symbol of the era. This role didn't just make Linda a star, it solidified her as one of the most memorable female leads of the 80s. But the making of Crocodile Dundee was no easy feat. Filming in remote parts of Australia, Linda and the crew battled harsh weather, dangerous wildlife, and tough working conditions. Linda recalled needing to act with real fear when standing just feet away from a crocodile. Despite these challenges, the film became a massive success, cementing the love story between Sue and Mick as a legendary on-screen romance. The success of Crocodile Dundee led to the 1988 sequel, Crocodile Dundee 2, where Linda continued to captivate audiences with her evolving character. From an unknown actress, Linda had reached the pinnacle of her career with a single role. But as Hollywood's brightest star, Linda's personal life took a dramatic turn. Shocking scandals emerged, casting a shadow over her once perfect image, and her career was swept into a whirlwind of controversy. What happened after the glory days? The love story that shocked Hollywood and the adultery scandal on set. When Crocodile Dundee was at the height of its success, Linda Kozlowski found herself at the center of a scandal that rocked Hollywood. Her relationship with co-star Paul Hogan not only stirred the entertainment world, but also made headlines worldwide, with rumors of betrayal and ruining family happiness that forever altered how both were viewed. It all started on set, when Linda and Paul, who portrayed Mick Dundee, crossed the line from co-workers to lovers. At the time, Paul had been married for 24 years to Noeline Edwards, his first wife and the mother of 5 children. Their marriage had long been considered a rock-solid example of stability in the Australian entertainment industry. But Linda's presence changed everything. On set, Linda and Paul's closeness didn't go unnoticed. Crew members reported their intimate gestures and lingering looks that went beyond professionalism. Soon, rumors began to spread, and the media jumped into the frenzy. Newspaper headlines accused the two of public adultery and featured secret photos of them together in private moments. Linda, once beloved by fans, became the target of harsh criticism, branded as the other woman who destroyed Paul's family. Instead of her career being elevated by the success of Crocodile Dundee, it was now under serious threat. The scandal reached its peak in 1986, shortly after the film's success, when Paul officially filed for divorce from Noeline. The split made headlines not just because of Paul's fame, but also due to Noeline's bitter public accusations. She called Linda a husband stealer, and the media fueled the fire with sensational stories. Both Paul and Linda found themselves turned against by the public. Paul, once admired, was now seen as a betrayer, while Linda became a symbol of Hollywood's moral decay. The backlash wasn't confined to Australia, it spread globally, where Crocodile Dundee continued to rake in box office success. Yet, despite the opposition, Linda and Paul chose to go public with their relationship. In 1990, they quietly married, hoping to start anew. But their married life was far from the fairy tale they had imagined. Linda later admitted that, although she loved Paul, she often felt trapped by the shadow of his fame. The nearly 20-year age gap created not only a generation gap, but also a sense of isolation for Linda. As an ambitious woman, she realized she had sacrificed much, her career and personal dreams, to maintain their marriage. Even after their wedding, the media didn't leave Linda alone. Rumors about their relationship continued to swirl, from Paul being too controlling to their disagreements over raising their son, Chance Hogan. Linda wanted to shield her son from the media spotlight, while Paul wanted to keep him in Australia, believing it was the best way to protect him. These tensions became fodder for the press, further tarnishing their image. The turbulence of their marriage culminated in 2014 when Linda and Paul announced their divorce. This time, Linda didn't remain silent. In a rare interview, she described her life with Paul as a golden cage, a life filled with material comforts but devoid of freedom. Linda admitted that while she longed for a happy family, she also craved the independence to live life on her own terms. Though the divorce didn't attract as much attention as the scandal that preceded it, it left a lasting impact on Linda. Not only had she faced a love scandal that led to a very public divorce, but she had also been trapped in the invisible prison of fame. What the world saw as the bright light of success was, for Linda, an invisible handcuff that limited her freedom and dreams. What forces pushed this star to sacrifice both the career and the love she once chased with all her heart? Get ready to uncover a truth darker than Hollywood's brightest lights ever revealed. Linda Kozlowski, the shadow of her iconic role and the prison of Hollywood. The incredible success of Crocodile Dundee catapulted Linda Kozlowski into the global spotlight, but it also trapped her in a way she hadn't anticipated. Playing the courageous and charming reporter Sue Charlton not only made Linda an international star, but also cast a long shadow that overshadowed the rest of her career. From being a relatively unknown actress to becoming an icon almost overnight, Linda found herself caught in Hollywood's unforgiving cycle of stereotypes and typecasting. After Crocodile Dundee and its sequel, Linda quickly found herself labeled as a one-hit wonder. While Sue Charlton became an iconic character, it left little room for Linda to explore more complex roles. Directors and producers seemed to see her only in that one-dimensional light, focusing on her looks rather than her acting abilities. This led to a series of lackluster roles, relegating her to B-movies and supporting parts that didn't allow her to showcase her true talents. In 1990, Linda starred in Almost an Angel, hoping to break free from her established image. But despite her efforts to prove her versatility, she was constantly compared to Sue Charlton. The bright star that once shone on the big screen began to fade as she found herself in unremarkable roles, and the industry that had once adored her now seemed to forget her. But it wasn't just the lack of opportunities that wore on Linda. It was also the harsh realities of Hollywood's age bias. The industry, obsessed with youth, continued to replace older actresses with younger faces. While male actors in the same age group still received significant roles, women like Linda were often pushed aside as their age became more apparent. This disparity led Linda to openly criticize Hollywood's double standards, noting that Hollywood doesn't care about real talent. All they see is whether your face is young enough to sell tickets. It was a harsh truth that left her disillusioned, pushing her to the brink of walking away from her career. The pressure from the media added to her struggles. Tabloid headlines ridiculed her as a star that faded before it burned, and implied that her career had failed because of her early success in Crocodile Dundee, a paradox that few could overcome. In the midst of these career challenges, Linda made a bold decision that shocked the public. She chose to leave Hollywood and move to Morocco. After divorcing Paul Hogan in 2014, Linda sought a new life, far from the scandals of her past. Morocco, with its vibrant culture and simple lifestyle, became her refuge, away from the parties and paparazzi of Hollywood. She married a local tour guide, a man far removed from the world of entertainment, and this choice stunned many, sparking fierce criticism. The stark difference in their backgrounds led some to question why a star who once graced Hollywood's red carpets would choose such an ordinary life. The media wasted no time in mocking Linda, claiming she had abandoned her Hollywood roots for a life they deemed unworthy of a former silver screen icon. The sight of Linda, once glamorous on the red carpet, now dressed in traditional Moroccan attire and strolling through busy markets, left many fans confused and regretful. But it wasn't just her new lifestyle that captivated the public. It was also the ongoing drama surrounding her relationship with Paul Hogan after their divorce. Their son, Chance, became the focal point of a bitter custody battle. Linda wanted him to live with her in Morocco, believing it would offer him a peaceful, safe environment. Paul, however, insisted on keeping Chance in Australia, where he felt the boy would have a better future. This disagreement became fodder for tabloids, with sensational stories speculating on the state of Linda and Paul's post-divorce relationship. Although they both claimed to respect each other for the sake of their son, it was clear that their past was far from healed. Linda's new life in Morocco wasn't entirely free from the media's scrutiny. Rumors about her second marriage continued to swirl, with some suggesting that she had married to fill the void left by her previous marriage. The cultural differences between Linda and her new husband also became a point of contention, with many doubting the longevity of their relationship. But even her move away from Hollywood didn't escape criticism. Some speculated that Linda had given up acting because she could no longer secure roles, while others believed it was the pressure to maintain her appearance in an industry that values youth over talent. Once a beloved beauty of Hollywood, Linda was now a target of mockery, with some claiming she had run away rather than fight to maintain her place in the industry. Despite all the challenges and criticism, Linda remained resilient. In Morocco, she shifted her focus from acting to business, founding Dream My Destiny, a travel company that offers tours to explore Moroccan culture. This new venture brought her joy and a sense of purpose, far removed from the pressures of Hollywood. However, her transformation from a glamorous Hollywood star to a more grounded figure in Marrakech still left many people shocked. And behind her newfound peace in Morocco, discussions about her changing appearance have continued to spark curiosity. Was it the passage of time, the pressures of fame, or personal choices that led to the change? The mystery surrounding Linda's journey continues to captivate the public. Linda Kozlowski's name is often mentioned these days, not just because of her past fame, but because of the noticeable transformation in her appearance after stepping away from the bright lights of Hollywood. Once the epitome of natural beauty, grace, and elegance, Linda became a global sensation thanks to Crocodile Dundee. However, after leaving the entertainment industry, the public's admiration slowly gave way to criticism, as Linda no longer fit the youthful image that once made her a beauty icon. Her shift from Hollywood's golden girl to a target of body shaming reflects the harsh reality of time's toll and the pressures of fame. Linda once shared that the Hollywood world placed immense pressure on her to always look perfect, especially in terms of her appearance. In an industry where youth and beauty are prized above all, no actress is allowed to lose form. Linda, who had graced the covers of prestigious magazines and dazzled on red carpets, was constantly expected to maintain an unrealistic beauty standard. Any sign of aging or change in her appearance was quickly seized upon by the media, turning it into a headline sensation. Linda was no exception. After retiring from acting in the late 1990s, Linda chose to live a simpler life, far from Hollywood's demanding glare. However, this did not stop the public from scrutinizing her every move. Whenever Linda appeared in front of the camera, she became the subject of gossip. The media and social networks frequently compared her current image to the iconic look she sported in Crocodile Dundee. Tabloid headlines like "Crocodile Dundee star changed beyond recognition" or "Linda Kozlowski, where is the beauty icon now?" became commonplace, highlighting the stark contrast between her past and present. Linda's candid photos, often taken without her consent while she wandered the streets of Morocco dressed casually and without makeup, fueled the public's criticism. The same people who once admired her beauty now eagerly posted negative, even cruel comments. One social media user wrote, "I can't believe this is the person who once captivated the world." Others were quick to express their disappointment, questioning why Linda didn't take better care of herself. In a rare interview, Linda opened up about the pressures she faced. She admitted that after leaving Hollywood, she stopped trying to conform to unrealistic beauty standards. "I lived a life where everyone expected me to be perfect, from my face to my body," Linda said. "But the truth is, no one can fight against time. I no longer want to waste my energy trying to be something I no longer feel necessary." While this honest answer earned sympathy from some, it did little to quiet the critics who clung to her image as a beauty icon. However, it's clear that Linda's changed appearance also reflects a life liberated from society's expectations. Her wrinkles, simple hairstyle, and casual clothing show the natural process of aging, but also a relaxed confidence, free from the need to please others. Still, in a world that places youth and beauty above all else, especially for former stars, this transformation is hard to accept. Additionally, Linda's marriage to a Moroccan tour guide added fuel to the fire. Many felt she had abandoned her Hollywood roots and chosen a life incompatible with her star status. Linda's presence in the markets of Marrakech, now far from the glamour of Hollywood, was often labeled a sign of decline. But Linda didn't speak out against these judgments. She embraced the reality of change, both in her appearance and lifestyle, and accepted the inevitable shifts that come with stepping away from the Hollywood spotlight. Alongside the criticism, Linda also found support from those who saw her as a symbol of courage and independence. Many admired her decision to leave fame behind and live life on her own terms. Some even praised the way she still radiated elegance and serenity, despite not retaining the beauty of her youth. Linda Kozlowski may no longer be the beauty icon she once was in Crocodile Dundee, but her story is a powerful reminder that appearance is not everything. In an industry obsessed with looks, Linda chose to break free from those constraints and live the life she truly wanted. Her transformation, whether met with criticism or admiration, is proof that surviving the pressures of fame is never easy. But through it all, Linda has stayed true to herself. And in that, she has found something even more valuable than beauty: authenticity. When you think of Crocodile Dundee, you can't forget Paul Hogan, the man who brought the unforgettable Mick Dundee to life. Mick, the rugged yet charming Australian crocodile hunter, wasn't just the heart of the film, he was the character that turned Paul Hogan from a modest Australian comedian into a worldwide star. Paul's life and career have been as full of twists and turns as any great Hollywood story, full of success, scandals, and surprising decisions. Born in 1939 in Lightning Ridge, New South Wales, Australia, Paul Hogan came from humble beginnings. Before he ever dreamed of acting, Hogan lived a simple life, working as a bridge painter on Sydney Harbour. But his true passion was comedy, and in the early 1970s he took a chance by appearing on the TV show New Faces. His raw, unpolished humor immediately caught the public's attention, setting him on a path to stardom. Soon Paul had his own comedy show, The Paul Hogan Show, where he showcased the persona of a strong, witty, and very Australian man, a character that would later inspire Mick Dundee. In 1986, Paul Hogan teamed up with director Peter Freeman to bring Crocodile Dundee to life. Hogan not only starred in the film, but also co-wrote the script. The story, a blend of Australian humor and romance, followed Mick, a crocodile hunter from the outback, on a journey to New York City with reporter Sue Charlton. The iconic image of Mick, with his crocodile skin hat and jungle knife, quickly won over audiences worldwide. The film was a massive success, becoming the highest-grossing Australian film ever and earning Paul Hogan a Golden Globe and an Oscar nomination. Overnight, he went from being a local comedian to an international star, appearing on top TV shows in the US and becoming the face of major advertising campaigns. However, with this newfound fame came the pressure of living up to such a monumental success and controversy in his personal life. The on-set chemistry between Paul and Linda Kozlowski, who played Sue Charlton, quickly turned into a real-life romance. At the time, Paul was married to his first wife, Noeline Edwards, and their divorce in 1986, shortly after the film's release, became one of the most talked-about events in Australia. The public's response was harsh, with Paul branded a traitor to his family and Linda harshly criticized as the cause of the breakup. Despite the backlash, Paul and Linda went on to marry in 1990 and had a son, Chance. However, their relationship was far from smooth, and in 2014, they announced their divorce, ending over 2 decades of ups and downs. Paul continued to play Mick Dundee in Crocodile Dundee 2, 1988, and Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, 2001, but neither film matched the success of the first. As time passed, the public's interest in the character faded, and Paul struggled to find new roles that could capture the same magic. His career, once so bright, began to dim, and he became known by many as a one-hit wonder. Off-screen, Paul faced legal troubles, particularly regarding accusations of tax evasion. In the 2000s, the Australian government investigated him for allegedly hiding income from Crocodile Dundee in foreign bank accounts. The lengthy legal battle hurt both his reputation and his finances, though Paul was eventually cleared of the charges. Still, the controversy left a mark on his public image. Now in his 80s, Paul Hogan lives a quieter life in Los Angeles, rarely seen in public except for occasional reunions or 80s nostalgia events. Though his career has faded, Paul will always be remembered as a cultural icon, especially as the man who introduced the world to Mick Dundee and brought Australia into the global spotlight. Paul Hogan's story is one of great highs and difficult lows, filled with fame, scandal, and personal struggles. From an unknown bridge painter to the star of a worldwide hit, Paul's journey is a reminder of the complexities of fame and the heavy price that often comes with living in the public eye. Mick Dundee may no longer dominate the screens, but Paul Hogan's legacy as the lovable Australian icon remains unforgettable. Linda Kozlowski and Paul Hogan are forever tied to Crocodile Dundee, but their lives off-screen have been just as captivating, marked by dramatic twists and turns in both their careers and personal lives. From the bright spotlight of the iconic film to the scandal that shook the public, their journey has been full of highs and lows. Linda's new life in Morocco and Paul's decision to step away from fame have marked the end of a turbulent chapter. Yet their story continues to serve as a powerful reminder of the heavy toll fame can take and the complexity of love in Hollywood. As you reflect on their journey, what stands out to you more, their strength in overcoming scandal or their courage to leave it all behind in search of peace? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below. All information in this video is gathered from trusted sources and is meant for reference only. Be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on future exciting videos.